My husband and I got into a disagreement the other day, which, happens. You live with somebody, you love them, you get in a disagreement. And we had decided we weren't going to like talk for a bit. We're like, this argument is getting us nowhere. This is not helping. We should probably take a break. Let's just take a break. We can calm down, think about it, and come back and discuss it later, which I think is a pretty smart thing to do. And we both agreed that was great. But we were upset and kind of just like not really in the same space in the house and kind of moving around each other and not really talking to each other. My husband came and said something that was really smart, and I was super excited that he did. He came in and he said, "Here's the thing. Do you remember being a kid and there were times where you knew you were in trouble?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I absolutely got in trouble." Like, and I got in trouble for ridiculous things. I was not really a bad behavior kid, but I was a kid who said things that my mom thought was not appropriate. And it wasn't anything bad. It was just that, if you were a kid in a black family and you were a smart kid, you probably got this. Like, stop being, you have a smart mouth, right? I had a smart mouth, and most of the time it's not. I just equated it to being neurodivergent and not knowing at the time. But my husband said, "You know what that felt like as a kid? And you knew you were in trouble in the house, right? You're walking around the house and you're in trouble." And you're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember that. Like, I know exactly what that feels like." And he goes, "I just want to say, we're not in trouble." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "We're not in trouble. We had a disagreement. We're upset about said disagreement. We're going to talk about it later, but we're not in trouble. I'm not going to leave you. You're not going to leave me. The relationship's not over. I'm not thinking about that. I know you're not thinking about like how this marriage is going to end because of this disagreement. We're not in trouble. We're not in trouble." I think sometimes we forget that in marriage and relationships. I know I do, because I didn't really have examples of marriage growing up. My parents split when I was 5. My mother never remarried. My father's been married and divorced literally 5 times. I have very few examples of what positive, thriving marriage looks like, successful. Like, I didn't have a lot of those examples. And so, there's a lot of us learning how to do this. We're not in trouble. But oftentimes in marriage, we think we are. And so we fight like we have to win or the marriage isn't going to work. And it's not the case. And it changed everything after that. It changed the energy in our home. It changed how we talked to each other the rest of the evening. It changed how we talked to each other until we were able to resolve said disagreement. It changed a lot. It changed us sleeping in separate bedrooms that night. It made a big difference. You're not in trouble. You've committed to that person, and they are committed to being in that with you. And disagreements don't mean the relationship is over. It just means you had a disagreement. You're not in trouble. Stare c'è.